We're going to move on to consent agenda, and before we take action on that, the board clerk has some comments relative to consent.
Yes, thank you, Director Gould. There is one change that needs to be made. In your packets, it reflected that committee member absent was Orzali. However, it was Director Gould. So I've made that change, and I wanted it reflected for our minutes this evening.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions, Director Clark, relative to that edit? I mean, it is fascinating that he can not only be absent and open the meeting. He is that kind of guy. But we're going to move on with that edit. I'll entertain a motion to approve consent.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. I'll second that, and we'll move on for a vote.
Director Clark.
Aye.
And Director Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to action items this evening. We'll begin with election of officers. Since this is our first policy meeting of 2017, we have not had an opportunity to do such, and so I'll open up the elections for chair and vice chair of the policy committee. Do I have any motions?
I move that I move that Director Gould be chair.
Okay, thank you. And I've had an opportunity to chat with Director Clark, and I will make a motion that he also serve as vice chair of the policy committee. Any objections? Hearing none, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Director Clark.
Aye.
And Director Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Very much. We'll move on now to action item number 2, the heart of the reason that we're here, and that's workplace violence policy. And Melissa, it looks like it's your deal.
Good evening, Directors, Chief Harms. I'm Melissa Maddox, the HR Manager at Metro Fire. Tonight we bring you proposed changes to the current board policy regarding workplace violence. This policy was previously approved by the board and Local 522 back in September of 2011. However, as part of the 5-year review of this policy, we determined that there needed to be some minor changes to the policy, specifically item number 7. So staff recommends that we accept these changes and refer the policy to the full board.
Yep, thank you. Director Clark, any questions relative to the edit of item 7 on a previously approved and jointly agreed upon policy with our labor group?
Yes.
I have no questions or objections, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, then I think at this point we'll take a motion in a second.
I will move that to recommend the policy that we approve in the staff's recommendation.
Okay,
And refer to the full board for approval.
that was a good long motion. It's excellent. Yes. All right, I second that motion. Questions or comments relative to the motion? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Clark.
Aye.
And Director Gould.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And Melissa, you're up for a presentation item only
you go.
at this stage, and that is the sick leave policy.
Yes. So tonight we also bring you a new administrative policy regarding sick leave. This policy replaces 3 existing policies, administrative policies, the protected sick leave policy, the sick leave for day and day shift personnel policy, and also the sick leave for shift personnel policies. So we basically are archiving those 3 policies, and we've created this new one policy that would combine all 3 of those, so we don't have 3 policies floating around out there. The district and Local 522 have met and conferred over this policy multiple times over the last year, and we have agreed to the terms that are in the policy currently. We've also had attorneys on both sides for the district and Local 522 review the policy to make sure it was legally compliant with the California Labor Code sections 233 and Senate Bill 579. So tonight we just are giving this to you to review, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I have none.
Director Clark. Melissa, I have a quick question for you. Can you just kind of help me understand the process that you envision this group, this committee going through? Because tonight it's presentation, we're fully supportive of it, but we're not taking any action. Is it your goal that then next time we have a policy meeting, we would then take formal action to send it to the full board for final approval? Is that what your vision is?
In the past, it's an administrative policy, so it wouldn't go to full board for approval, but we bring them to you for review and,
Right.
and welcome to listen to any edits or comments that you
Good.
may have to the policy.
And I know we started the process of having just eyes on it for nothing more than any kind of edits or a different perspective, and that's your goal with this particular policy as well?
Yes.
So we're not going to be referring this one?
Nope,
Yep. Okay, very good. Any other questions?
I have none.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next meeting is TBD, and items on the agenda for that next meeting that's TBD are also TBD. So with that, any questions?
None, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, thank you very much. This committee stands adjourned.